Hey all, and welcome back to the finale of Pokémon Colosseum. We have snagged a bunch of Shadow Pokémon and beaten countless trainers to make it to this point. So, are you ready? Because Nascour is all that stands between us and victory. We will become a top star by beating you. So let's do this shit.
Yeah, he's got quite the evil foreboding pose here. I'm not too keen on him looking down at me like this, but I guess I gotta make him threatening.
I showed you my Shadow Pokémon, answer me.
Well, okay, that's defeated our chance of taking this fucker seriously.
Oh, he's got a fucking swag pose. Even like if there's no breeze up here, which there should be, he is blowing up a storm over there. Alright, let's discuss Nascour's Pokemon. He has a Dusclops at level 55, a Gardevoir at the same level, Blaziken at level 54, Zaytu at level 54, Wailerin at 56, and I'm going to assume is his ace, a Shadow Metagross at level 50 plus. And his team actually does change after you snag the Metagross and he gets an Alakazam instead.
Indeed.
He basically gets all the Pokemon that look really fucking cool here, and I will say the one thing that, like, the big standout thing about this battle, the music, there is none.
Yeah.
You just hear the crowd chanting, and that is so effective for this, I think, personally.
Oh, definitely.
I love me a good boss battle tune, don't get me wrong, but if you want to make people sit up and take notice, it's not like a hard-hitting musical track that often gets the job done, it's the lack of it, because then what are you able to focus on? Nothing. Your mind is completely focused on the battle at hand.
It's very loud silence, probably the best way to put it. But yeah, also the first two Pokemon that he sent out, Blaziken and Gardevoir here, both Gen 3 Pokemon fully evolved and whatnot, but what correlates them to me is I seem to recall around, I want to say, the Ruby Sapphire era of the Pokemon TCG, there were two pre-built decks they released for like Pokemon World Championship winners. Like they released like personalised decks based on the card decks that World Championship winners had used that year, and the two themes of them, one of them was Blaziken and the other was Gardevoir, and like they had their specific like own backs, so like they weren't tournament legal, these decks, but like you could just keep them as collectibles, and I actually have the Gardevoir one somewhere that is probably a cool little collectible now because I don't think there were too many prints of those sets.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it would have gotten that many prints in the grand scheme of things, but it is quite cool. I mean, I suppose the way that the reason they did that is because obviously Gardevoir's the psychic type and Blaziken's the fighting type. Obviously, it's got the fire, which is its primary type, but you've got that kind of psychic versus fighting whole shtick going on. It is quite cool. Also, can I just say that Walrein is still a really awesome Pokemon?
It's
I
great.
love Walrein.
It's such a powerhouse. It's great.
It's the Pokemon that looks powerful and also has the might to back it up, because it's got a lot of defense, if I recall correctly.
Oh yeah, it's a bulky sword, but it's just really, really satisfying. And I believe that I have definitely used a Walrein at least once or twice in my time playing through Pokemon.
Let's see. Its actual highest base stat is HP at 110. Let's see. Defense is 90, special defense is 90. I expected more, but I guess I always just like took it down with fighting type attacks.
I've never actually used Walrein on my team, and the reason for that is because you catch the Spheal, I can't say that word to save my life, but you catch him in the Shell Cave, which is optional in Gen 3, and also by that point, I've got a Gyarados if I want one. So, like, you know, I'm kind of set for a water type, and I've got him usually pretty bulked up. So it's not really ever been a I need to go get this Pokemon kind of deal for me. But it is still a really cool design, and like I fucking love the whole walrus look you've got going on with a giant tusk. You know, you wouldn't want to fuck with him, even if his stats aren't as amazing as you thought they might be.
Look at you, letting a legendary dog fall by the wayside. You appear to be getting your shit pushed in here, Flame. How would you say Nascour ranks in terms of final bosses?
Well, that's primarily on the case of I was too fucking stubborn to go grind anymore because I think I've been grinding for fucking hours beforehand. So I just sort of went in with my Pokemon at this sort of level. I think in terms of the evil leaders, I know we went over this a bit last part, but he's got the look. he's got the team, like, they're a varied team. He doesn't really have a distinct weakness that you can sweep him with, which that puts him above a lot of the others to start with, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think he's cool.
Yeah, I mean, also, I do think that he is actually quite a challenging fight. I mean, both of the final bosses of Colosseum are quite challenging. I think that is in part because if you're just fighting, doing like every fight as you go along, then you are likely to be slightly underleveled by the time you get to these final fights. And Zatu's death kind of animation's still great. But yeah, they do end up being definitely quite difficult, and yeah, this Shadow Metagross ain't no pushover.
I fucking love Metagross, easily my favourite steel type.
Same. I have a shiny one that I got from that giveaway, or I think it might have been like a early release mystery gift or something like that. But like, I love its shiny form so much. The like silver steel colour is so fucking badass. Like, I've used that on my team in Gen 6, and it was like one of my favourite Pokemon, gonna say. But I don't think it's gonna be too much of a challenge here, if you remember what I got a couple of parts ago.
Yeah, it is a pivotal point, and you don't want to be dicking about with like Timer Balls or Ultra Balls and so on. Just be careful, don't knock it out, Flame.
Don't knock it out with my Master Ball. Okay, I won't.
Yeah, you throw it so hard it shatters it completely.
No, just dents it, and it's got to live with a fucking migraine on top of his head now. And Frost wonders what the fuck's going on too.
Alright, here we go. Go, Master Ball. Challenge voided.
Right, one thing I do want to bring up, because people have been asking about this in the comments since like way early in the playthrough. No, I'm not going to be abusing the glitch here. There is a glitch in Pokemon Colosseum that if you throw a Master Ball on one turn, and then before it gets thrown, like on the second Pokemon's pick, if you switch the location of it in the like item pocket, it doesn't use up the item.
Huh.
And some people abuse that to get unlimited Master Balls, essentially. I'm playing this entirely legit, but given how some of these Pokemon are to snag, I can't blame people who cheat either. Because sometimes you just want to get it over with some of these long battles.
Well, too bad for you, Ansem. You couldn't stand up to the light, and you couldn't stand up to this fight. So I guess that's it, guys. Thank you for watching Pokemon Colosseum. In the end, I don't hate it as much as I did before, but, you know, it's still a little bit rough around the edges and whatnot. And, hang on, is there some sort of epic twist going on here?
No, there's not. There's literally 17 minutes of credits. Oh no, there's something else.
Oh, Mr. Mayor. He came as soon as he heard we beat NASCAR.
Yes.
He's really into Pokemon Battle, you know.
Something doesn't seem right here. It's a bit too jovial, a bit bouncy.
It's fine. The wacky Deus Ex Machina won't be for another fight yet. We've got something else to come first.
Oh, Jesus. I remember skipping to this with Action Replay. And yeah, he's the boss of Cipher. And that's not enough. No, he is Evice. This is my fucking OC. Shazam! Look, I'm Eggman Nega for some reason.
Hero or villain, you decide.
Oh god, why does he need to float? What aspect of that works in terms of the story?
That's actually just the Metagross using Psychic the whole time. That's why they employed him.
So yeah, the mayor who had like almost as much influence on the plot as like Gonzab did is secretly the big bad all along. Why, though? What function does this serve to the plot as a whole?
Because it's hilarious.
Seeing his bedclothes dumped over his bed earlier in the game weren't enough. Now we've got to see him actually doing the evil shit. But yes, his Pokemon are some of the highest levels we're going to see in the game. Like you saw the Machamp and... Go back to it, yeah, Salamence, one of the other ones. Like, they're both level 60 above. He's a pretty tough fucker here. And if you just ignore the sections when I open up the team menu and somehow have the Metagross in my team now, that'd be nice. No edits here, no wipes off screen or anything.
Oh, lordy. What you really need is a good, solid rock Pokemon, or something with a good, like, rock slide to take down Salamence. That's usually how I dealt with the Gen 3 Dragon Elite Four member if I didn't have like any ice Pokemon or dragons on hand.
Well, my Suicune has Aurora Beam, so that's what I'm going to try to set up for. It might take me a little while here, but that's going to be what I go for. Although I seem to recall the Salamence not being too damaging, so I'll sort of let him hang around for a bit while I wiped out the others one at a time, because this Slacking is the annoying one.
Oh yeah.
This Slacking is defensive as fuck. He takes forever to get down. His one reprieve is his ability, I think it's called Slack Off or something like that, but it means I think every third attack he can't actually hurt you. He just sort of loafs off.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, he's gonna be the one who takes the longest to get down.
Alright, Cipher Head Evice. His team consists of a Slowking at level 61, Shadow Ball, Psychic, Water Pulse and Skull Swap, Scizor at level 60, Metal Claw, Silver Wind, Baton Pass and Swords Dance, Machamp with its crazy, like, Stadium 1 and 2 model, which makes me uncomfortable, at level 61, Cross Chop, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Bulk Up, Salamence at level 60 with Dragon Dance, Double Edge, Aerial Ace, and Dragon Claw, Slacking at level 60 with Crush Claw, Aerial Ace, Earthquake, and Bulk Up, and his ace, if you will, Shadow Tyranitar at level 55 plus with Shadow Rush, Thunder, Rock Slide, and Blizzard. And it's holding a Nugget for some reason, just in case the honour of capturing it wasn't enough. You also get some money on top of that. But yeah, he's fully ready for basically anything you can throw against him, and he's more than ready to counter you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Flame, just to get in there quickly, Slacking's ability is Truant, which means that it'll slack off. And it'll basically, yeah, it just is like Slacking is loafing around, and that is its whole shtick. I believe that Slack Off has Truant as well. It's only Vigoroth where it changes out and then it'll change back again. It's a weird one.
Yeah, Vigoroth seems a little bit out of place in that line, because like he's so much more active and jumping around, while the other two are just like, I'm here, I guess. They paid me to show up.
It's his angry, angsty teenage phase.
Yeah, and then he uses up all his energy, and that's why he just becomes so fucking lazy as a Slacking.
Oh my god, that's just me. The Slacking line is me.
Did you have a Vigoroth era?
I was sort of outgoing when I was a teenager. Like, still a fat, but at least I went out places.
That's like one of the weirdest like little jabs that I've made. You were never a Vigoroth.
Oh, it's not fair. I want to be a Vigoroth.
But yeah, some people might be wondering why I use the Master Ball on the sub-final boss rather than the final boss, but Metagross actually has a lower catch rate than the Tyranitar. It's easier to catch a Tyranitar just through raw luck, and I don't think it actually gave me that much grief. Like, there may be an edit, there might not be, I honestly can't remember. But yeah, I thought the Metagross, I just looked it up on Bulbapedia and saw, okay, that would be a bitch if I actually try, so fuck it, I'm too pussy to try.
Totally fair. And here's that Tyranitar now!
He's fucking evil Desert Godzilla. He is fucking cool. I love Tyranitar's design.
Yeah, he's pretty great, How do we feel about Evice as, like, the main villain of the game? Flame, you're the one who spent the most time with this in recent memory. How's your feeling? What's your take, as it were?
I have no real opinion one way or the other. It seems like a weird arsepull, but I don't really care either. Like, I would say that the villain in XD is a little bit more interesting, even if they did do a similar sort of bait and switch thing with him. But hey, like, they made him out to be a good guy. He's not a good guy. Whoop-de-doo. You know, nothing new here. Just saying.
Yeah. I quite like it as a thing because it explains why the evil team seem to kind of, you know, hover around the mayor's place, because at the beginning of the game you're just like, what are they doing there? And then you're just like, oh, it's the mayor, and you're just like, this doesn't make any sense, but okay, they're clearly just using it as a base whilst he's out, because of course he's a good guy, but then he's not. But yeah, there's a few fun things with Evis. I pronounce it Evis rather than Evice, but it doesn't really matter. So obviously the name appears to be a combination of evil and vice, with vice obviously implying wrongdoing, but apparently it also can imply the possibility that Evis isn't the true leader of Cipher, something that XD Gale of Darkness sort of does change quite a bit. It's unclear whether the change in XD is a retcon or not. There's a resident of the Under who references a man who made a fortune in the mines of the city that he hopes to use his money for good, which would appear to be in reference to Evis here, but could also be referring to the main villain of XD.
Right.
There's also the point that Evis's grandfather actually founded Fenac City by drawing water to the previously parched land and then became its first mayor, and that's how he's ended up being the mayor there. The only other bit that I've got really on him is his name in other languages. So the French call him Nosfrat, Germany call him Intrigo, Italian Malario.
Okay, that's an unfortunate name.
Yeah, and the Spanish is Nefiro. So it's a bit of an interesting one in terms of where they're going for. Obviously, Evis is probably the more normal of them, but it's a nice, fun little thing. I do think I do quite like this twist, just because it does come very out of left field, but then it also does, clarify a whole bunch of reasonings as to why characters were where they were.
Yeah, like, in hindsight, I get it now, and that does make me appreciate it a little bit more, but it's just so silly for what is, like, trying to be a serious confrontation. Although maybe that's just me projecting, I don't know.
I don't know, it's one of these things that I do see sometimes in fiction when it's trying to be serious. Like, sometimes they do have a bit of comic relief that's trying to take the edge off it, but it doesn't always seem like it fits, and this is one of them cases for me. It's like, you got the bumbling mayor character just show up in the middle of, like, a fucking evil team confrontation. There's Metagross, by the way. It just kind of doesn't fit the tone that we've established, and I kind of wish it would just own it as, like, the edgier, darker series, I guess.
Alas, we can't always get what we want, but we're coming to the end of Pokémon Colosseum now. We'll be, obviously, probably redoing commentary and such when it comes to the post-game, but I can't recall Metagross ever doing that before. That's kind of weird. Flame, what's your quick take on Colosseum as a whole now?
I like Colosseum a lot for what it is. I enjoyed it a lot as a child, and I did still enjoy playing through it again for this playthrough. Like, the problems stand out more to me, and a lot of the problems are just, like, little irritating things. Like, sometimes the battles drag out, sometimes it can get irritating balancing, catching a shadow Pokemon while fighting the other one and not letting it kill itself with Shadow Rush. Little things like that, they just add up to be a lot of minor, like, irritants with the game that, when they all come together, it does hamper the experience a bit. But for what it is, I still do enjoy the game. It's still, like, I don't know whether I'd say it's one of my favourite Pokemon games, but it's definitely a game that I have really fond memories with, and I think I always will. I like it a lot.
What about you, Rich? How do you feel about Colosseum?
Yeah, I think that I also do really quite like it. I don't think it's a perfect game, and I remember sort of when I was younger playing through it having some frustrations with the whole game, but I do have a special place in my heart for it because it is very different from the rest of the Pokemon games, and really I did want to see much more many more Shadow Pokemon games, because I thought that as a concept it was really good, and it's a shame that they didn't kind of continue with it, but I like what we did get, and while it's not perfect, I am happy and content.
I've kind of come to the conclusion that I will probably never fully appreciate Colosseum as a game. It's just too restrictive for me. The storyline is just kind of repetitive, even by Pokemon standards, but I have learned to appreciate it a little bit more. Like, I don't just scoff at it anymore, and yeah, I think coming back to it with, like, at least a fresh mind, as it were, has helped me to be a bit more receptive of it, but at the end of the day, I would still much rather play even the busted ass Gen 1 than maybe Pokemon Colosseum, as great as its soundtrack is.
Yeah, the music is definitely, like, one of the biggest highlights of this game, and same for XD as well. XD's soundtrack is just as fucking great. Oh, Eggman's sad.
Aww.
So, you ready for another bullshit thing to come out of nowhere?
I am Flame, I'm always ready.
Because, yeah, they really play the whole Deus Ex Machina thing to a T here.
No, wait a minute, there's a post-game here, you cannot stop me, please don't.
Well, the post-game's more cleaning up the mess he's made with all these other Pokemon, these other shadow Pokemon just loitering around the town. I'm glad everyone made it in time.
Oh yeah, they all came when they heard.
I love being 12, it makes it so much funnier.
Huh?
Phase 1 of the bullshit out of nowhere.
Alright, so he has a secret pod. What's stopping them from putting him in cuffs right now?
Because the police are fucking useless.
I guess so, yeah. Oh?
Phase 2 of the bullshit out of nowhere.
Ah, yeah, get fucked, flying pond in the sky.
This ending is absolute arse, but, you know, after everything else we've done in the game, I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, this is the kind of tone I would like from Pokemon if they're gonna, like, be a bit silly about it. It was just like the floating egg-shaped man. Ho-oh! Holy shit!
Yep, that's the Pokemon that's implied to have been watching over all this, I guess. Although, really, it's just they pulled a ho-ho out their arse to say stop them getting away.
So when are we gonna catch it then, Flame? Post-game, I assume?
You get that when you beat Mount Battle, I presume, so we'll get that when you can do it.
Okay. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Just letting you know, no.
In fact, you know what? I might do it, and we can sit and talk over all 100 battles. How do you like that?
Oh no!
There's a reason why I abridged the post-game. Be thankful.
But hey, at least we get a close-up look of the Ho-Oh now, rather than, you know, having to go through that torture.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad that we never got a Snap 2, just for the fact that we'll never get to, like, take pictures of Ho-Oh and Lugia and so on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe one day they'll realise that doing another Pokemon Snap game would actually be a good idea and people would probably buy it, but hey.
Yep, that's it guys, we'll see you in the post-game for more off-topic antics. Bye for now.